Okay, thank you so much for joining me for the second rendition of the Kick the Sugar Habit webinar. This one is going to be a little bit more streamlined and with some more targeted steps for you to complete in order to kick the sugar habit for good without giving up sweetness in your life. And I'm not just talking about like life sweetness, but like actual food sweetness too. Really quick, for those of you who are new to me and what I am offering, my name is Lindsay Shepard, and I am the face behind Lindsay Motivates. So let me just quickly introduce myself. This is me. I am 29 years old, and I live finally a healthy, balanced life that I'm still constantly working to feel fulfilled in everything that I do. I love the outdoors. I have a dog that takes me on wonderful adventures and a wonderful husband who just got into skiing, which is interesting. But it has not always been like this. Actually, I really struggled with yo-yo dieting and just really restrictive diets, and then going back to a more indulgent diet, and then working out like crazy, and then feeling like I've gotten off track if I didn't work out for a week. And it just didn't feel good. And it really started to show in my acne. It was definitely stress-based, and I just didn't feel like I was healthy from the inside. I might have looked healthy. And in the picture of my comparison pictures, that's when I started working with my personal trainer, and I started to feel like, oh, I could be an athlete. I could feel like I'm strong and capable and really like fit. And I just really liked that feeling. So I continued this like health journey of mine, to the point where I really cut down on anything that could ever be against health. And what my image of health was very strict. Like, don't drink coffee, only drink water. And if I'm going to have any sweets, it's going to be a strawberry. And I was gluten-free and dairy-free and all of these different things. And I was kind of eliminating a lot of the things that I enjoyed from my life and my diet. And I really got into fitness. Again, that's the other flip of the coin, that it's like, this isn't a balanced life that is sustainable, until I became studying to be a health coach. And I became a certified health coach in October of last year. And it's still a work in progress, obviously, but I feel like I'm able to be healthy while also being and enjoying the things that I like. So my husband made brownies for my birthday because I love brownies, and I had s'mores at my friend's house, and I get to still drink wine because, you know what? Life should be filled with things that you enjoy. Why would you do things that you don't like? So I stopped beating myself up for when I, quote, fell off track. And I realized that I'm creating my own track. And it felt really liberating, and something that I felt like I could actually sustain this. This is what I wanted. And that's what I'm going to share with you today, of just the knowledge and aha moments that I took when I got my training, and feel like it's a very invaluable thing, or I guess super valuable thing. So just to let you know, if you're wondering why you crave sugar at certain times, and if you feel like I felt, where I just didn't want to continue trying new things, I wanted to do something that actually works and doesn't feel like I'm reinventing the wheel, then you are in the right place. If you also want to just discover how to get unstuck, then you're also in the right place. And I'm hoping that this can kind of open another set of doors for you to feel like you're taking back control, where life is not guiding you, you are guiding life. So that's kind of what I would like for you to end this on. So I will start breaking down the different steps. Step one is understanding why we have sugar cravings. And there's this concept called the polarity of food, and it's basically based on the principle that everything has these two different polarities, the two extremes of things like hot and cold, light and dark, soft and hard, or heavy and light, loud and noisy. Like it's just, oh, not noisy and loud. That's the same thing. Quiet and noisy. It's just the idea that it's like without one you can't have the other. So food has a similar principle. Food shares these different qualities with each other and with just the world that we exist in and the universe that we exist in. And it's beyond just the idea that a food is X amount of calories, it does this to your body, and that's it. We have to acknowledge that food comes from the earth and the earth gives it something, and that energy is what we can't really ignore. And once we notice that, oh, there's this upward lifting energy that sometimes we feel in the world, food carries that as well. And then we also have this, on the flip side, the grounding, rooted energy that we have as well. And so if we're talking about foods, the uplifted energy type of foods are like leafy greens is a perfect example. They literally grow upward because they're giving you this light upward energy. Sugar also falls into this upward food, right? You get this spike of energy, caffeine, poultry, obviously they fly. So it has this like upward feeling. Fruits, right? There's just this, once we start thinking about it, you're like, oh yeah, it does have this kind of energy to it. And then you see the reverse of it, the other side, the grounding energy foods, the root vegetables, literally root vegetables in the ground. Red meat, there's just this heaviness about it. Eggs and things that have like high protein and also like cholesterol and just these like hard mineral packed foods, salty, greasy foods, cheeses, like it just kind of like grounds you. You eat these foods and you kind of want to stay put. Whereas if you have caffeine, that is not what you're planning on doing, right? So we've got these two different extremes of the foods that we ingest. And like many things, there's this idea that you can have too much of a good thing. So if you've ever been caught in this cycle where you are eating something salty, something with that grounding energy, you're like, you know what could really like just round this out for me is if I had something sweet to like finish it off. And then you eat the sweet thing and you're like, what does my tongue want? Oh, I know. This again. So we get into this back and forth cycle between salty, sweet. And in order to break that cycle, we really just need to understand why it's happening. So that's why we started with step one. Step two is then pairing that understanding with the understanding that external forces also fuel our cravings. So if we're talking about these two different sides to a coin, we have expansive activities in our life that kind of share that upward lifting feeling of that polarity of food that we talked about. So expansive activities that let you kind of like breathe a full inhale would be like taking a spa day or drinking with your friends and kind of just like hanging out, relaxing, being really loose. Eating sweets, again, that like upward energy, that spike. Resting, reading, just doing things that don't, I don't know. On the other side is the contractive exercise or activities, right? So overworking, really pushing your body to extreme workouts, going through stressful life events, traumatic events, grieving, partying really hard, staying up really late and trying to recover. Like those are things that are taking away from your energy, whereas the expansive activities are in a sense like reinvigorating you. So we have these external activities that are influencing our sweet and our salty cravings. So if we're looking at this list, there might be days where we're doing only contractive activities. We get into a really awesome rhythm at work, and so we just continue grinding. And we get into a really nice rhythm at the gym, so we just go gym, 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 no rest days. I'm tough, I'm crazy good and athletic. That pattern of putting that kind of contractive activity pressure on us is then leading us to really lean into that experience of the back and forth, right? So the idea is to find a balance, because that's when we take back control. That's when we are in control and we understand why the cravings are happening. So if we are striving to strike this balance, if we're starting to bring awareness to the things that are happening in our life, the way that we are living our life in, are we trying to balance things? Are we living in this perpetual cycle of really contractive activities? Are we doing too much of the restful activities and indulging too much? Or are we striking this beautiful, harmonious balance that allows us to feel upward, like that upward lifting energy, the expansive bliss, while also feeling like we've got our 2 feet on the ground? We're not buried, but we're on the ground. And that balance is really what's going to help you take back control and kick the sugar habit in a way that it's not like you are eliminating sugar from your diet entirely. It's just that it's not ruling you anymore. It's not, oh, well, I can't seem to break this craving. Why is that? Is that because maybe we're doing too much of one thing and we're not finding a balance between the two? Potentially. And now you have these 3 steps, right? We understood why we have these cravings. We understood that there is beyond just food, it is your activities that you're doing in your life. And then the 3rd step is basically the solution in finding that balance. So my question to you and my call to action at the end of this session is to really take this useful information. After this webinar, you'll be getting a link to this presentation. So all the information that I have on those slides, you will have at your disposal. I will also have a recording of this replay up on my my Patreon, so that those of you who are part of that community, you can participate in replaying this, and in like a discussion afterward as well, just to kind of bounce ideas off of each other. And so I wanted to share with you some other ways for you to feel like this useful information isn't just falling flat, or feeling like you are really aware of these things for like a week and then you kind of feel like you're getting back into your old swing of things. I coach around habit change, and habit change takes a bit of time. So if you're curious about what a continued transformation may look like, of maybe just wanting a little reminder that, oh yeah, that Lindsay girl, she was the one who told me about how to balance my life between craving things and other like contractive or expansive activities. That was an interesting webinar. Maybe I should follow her, so that I can kind of just keep you accountable and kind of help you feel like you're not alone, right? Because don't we all want to feel like we're not alone? Again, I mentioned my Patreon, this community of past, present, and hopefully future clients of mine. It's just an awesome platform where I share specific content regarding lifestyle and fitness, and only the people who are part of my Patreon get access to it. So if you are interested in being a member of my Patreon, it's as easy as just joining the lowest tier, which is $5 a month, and you get access to some pretty cool things. And webinars like this, discussion boards, contact with me at your disposal. I send you some merch. So it's a platform for you to feel like you're connected with me, but on a budget, if you will. I also have a Facebook group, and I post on there 3 times a week, just another place for me to share some relevant content around health and wellness and fitness. So if you're interested in joining my Facebook group, you can join for free, and it's called Elevate Your Life with Lindsay Shepherd. And then Instagram, YouTube, website, it's all Lindsay Motivates. So should be pretty easy to find. I hope that you enjoyed this as well. And again, this is it. Knowledge is power. And if you really want to change habits, it's going to take some time, but now you have the steps in place to make it actually happen. So good luck. Please stay connected. I am always curious about your journeys, just from a general human standpoint. We've all been through it. So I would really appreciate it if you would reach out and let me know, how is it going? How is this kicking the sugar habit working out for you? So again, thank you so much for joining me this evening, and take care.